run it, run. No, 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 ay. I've been running out of time, think I need to rewind, feeling out of line. I put everything aside, hoping that I make it right, all the things I do for you. I've been running out of time, think I need to rewind, feeling out of line for you. I put everything aside, hoping that I make it right, all the things I do for you. Nonchalant, wake up feeling like I'm righteous. In my mind, see it grab me with my likeness. Up till 5, no one working like this, I guess. Put in 12-hour shifts while I write this. And I know when the black shit, they showing love. Not everyone a day one, don't lie to me. And they wanna take credit when no credit's due. Say what you want, but it don't bother.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm back. It's the one and only James Williams, Dark Waters. I'm back to holler at y'all. Man, listen, we've been keeping on this theme of the giants. And the last time I came and I showed you guys how to do some research just with old news articles in general. First of all, before I get started, I want you to comment below how many of you guys have actually taken the opportunity to take my advice and see about doing your own research. I would love to know how many of you guys have actually done your own research. It's very important that in this field, hold on, I'm taking off my jacket, loosen up my tie, step inside the booth. Superman is alive. Ooh, it's important that you guys learn how to do your own research. You know what I'm saying? DYOR is what they call this in the business realm. Do your own research. Don't just listen to what people tell you. Because when you listen to what people say, man, that's how you get caught up in talking points. That's how you get exploited. And that's how you get taken advantage of. So, part of my job, and I make it in my job, it's not necessarily my job, but a part of my job is to show you guys how you vet through stories, how you vet through evidence, how you find out what in the hell is really going on, as opposed to sitting here and just freestyling things to you like some other people do. I can sit here and freestyle for hours. This story, that story, bada bing, bada boom. But man, that gets boring. And at the end of the day, my brain doesn't work that way. It's well organized, highly functioning brain that wants to show you guys the truth. So with that being said, let's dig into it. Now, we talked about biblical giants before. And again, the last time I spoke, it was, I don't know, some people have listened, some people don't listen. And this is why I do these things. So let's go ahead and dip into the Bible. Alright, so everybody wants to talk about the Nephilim in the Bible, right? Genesis 6:4. And in those, there were giants in the earth in those days, and the days afterwards. Let me just pull it up and read it to you. Genesis. You should start bringing your Bible with you when we start doing these, because I'm going to go through the Bible, so you might want to just crack it open. Genesis 6:4. Let's just use Genesis 6 for context, because people like to pull one scripture and there's no context. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and their daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, so the daughters were of men, that they were fair, and they took of them wives, all the which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children unto them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And God saw the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. God repents after that, and the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and creepy crawly thing, and fowl of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in God's eyes. Is this King James Version? Yes, it is. That's why it's so flowing so well. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, and all flesh had corrupt in it his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. All right. We go through the process of Noah busting a move and making the ark. Now, I was in the process, the last time of explaining to people, now I don't know how people don't get it. The theory that everybody walking around on the planet back then wasn't a giant. And I guess people don't get it, but it doesn't matter. But to be clear with you, every human being walking wasn't a giant, but every bloodline of human beings had been corrupted. Hence, when I tell you that there were human beings who had bloodlines that were non-human humans, that's where it comes from. It's clear as day if you read it there. And if you do a tad bit of study, it's clear as day. But nonetheless, that's not what we're here to talk about. That I will leave that up to people to discuss later. Now, here's what I am going to discuss. First of all and foremost, everybody talks about giants, but in the corruption of the flesh of man and the seed of man, but nobody talks about why it was done. So, biblically, the reason why the flesh was corrupted was because it was all about destroying the bloodline of Jesus Christ himself. So Christ could not come through a bloodline and come here on earth, right? If you don't know that, that's what the giant narrative truly is about. That's what the move was about. So to disconnect the theory of giants, that's not even a theory, to disconnect giants from Christ is the hugest mistake that you can make. Again, not accusing anyone of doing it. I'm just saying it's a huge mistake. So let's make the connection where it should be as we move forward and look into the next thing. So let's see where giants were. All right, so we know Goliath, right? David battled Goliath. Everybody knows that. 1 Samuel 17. So we ain't gonna go into David battling Goliath. Even though I love David's story. If you're not familiar with the story of David and Goliath, David is roaming around in the hills, chilling. He hears a battle, comes running up, and talks to the king. And the king is like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine that dares to defy the armies of the living God? Goliath is over there roaring, talking major trash. Everybody's scared. The king is scared. The most significant thing about David and what he did before he went to go fight Goliath, if you ever want to read it, and this is a jewel for you, David actually made a negotiation. But nonetheless, I'm not here to discuss negotiating. And those are things that, I don't know. Those are things that I think God should reveal to you on your own. We got Goliath as a giant, right? Verified Goliath. Everybody's heard about Goliath. The next giant that we got is Anakim, right? Anakim, Numbers 13. So I'm laying out to you guys the significance of giants being in the scripture. So then we got the Raphaim, Deuteronomy 2:11, King Og of Bashan, Deuteronomy 3:11. So there's this ongoing theme of giants throughout the Bible. Some of them were pre-flood giants, some of them were post-flood. At post-flood, everybody knows that King Og was post-flood. King Og of Bashan was post-flood giant. And like I was saying, when we get into this field, there seems to be, to me, it's almost like, I don't know why people are surprised to believe or see that giants exist and that they would still be around to this day, because it said they were around prior to the flood and they were around after the flood. So that means if they're around after the flood, then they got some of them around here somewhere right now. The issue is what's restraining them and what's holding them back. I will not get into that this episode, but I did want to point out to you guys the places in the Bible where the giants are. Why? For context, for what I'm about to start showing you guys next. Now, if you recall, I told you that when you start going to Google News, it's really, really simple to find old articles about everything. And so I went in, I found a few for you guys to take a look at. And I'll tell you how to find them on your own. It's very, very simple. For those of you who care to actually study and learn and find stuff, go to the page, type in a series of words. Type in giant skulls, giant bodies, giant skeletons, giant 10-foot tall giants, 14-foot tall giants, 17-foot tall giants. When you want to learn something, and I'm sorry guys, this is just the engineer in me talking. When you want to learn something, you have to take it upon yourself to create criteria in order to process the information. So you can sit here and say, I'm interested in Dogman, I'm interested in Bigfoot. and I want to see if it's real. Well, if the first level of knowledge and understanding is you listening to what I'm saying, then you're not doing any research. You're being entertained, right? And so there has to be a start and a finish in these things for you, at least for me. And I'm going to suggest that there be a start and a finish for you, because there's so many other things that you can learn. I mean, so much other information that you can process in this information age. Sidebar note: I really think that's why a lot of people are messed up. Like, a lot of this generation is messed up. Because I remember when we were kids, like when the phone rang, you didn't know who was calling you on the phone. You didn't know a lot of stuff. Your parents didn't know where you were. You couldn't look up, you couldn't feel the ache in your body and look it up on your phone and become a hypochondriac because you didn't have access to the information. Knowledge itself, to an extent, too much access to knowledge is a curse, and we're seeing it play out. I mean, you see it play out publicly all over the place. And so when you find a generation of people who don't really give a damn about anything, it's because nothing surprises them. If that makes sense to you. I mean, if you go back to the 80s, whether it was a freaking rocket launching into space and it exploding, or whether it was a mass shooting where people got shot up, you know, it was evening news. People talked about it. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, everybody found out about it at the same time. There's a proper reverence to these things. But desensitization happens when stuff is constantly in front of your face, right? So if murder is constantly shown in front of your face, then you get desensitized to murder. If wickedness is shown in front of your face constantly, you become desensitized to wickedness. Pornography in front of your face, you become desensitized to pornography. Most of y'all become desensitized to your wives' bodies. So turn that crap off, and your sex life will be a lot better. I'm just spazzing for a second. Forgive me. I'm sorry. That's just my thoughts. Just how I'm feeling at the moment. I just wanted to say it. All right. Let's get into these articles. Let's go. The first one, Google News. And again, I am showing you giant. Let's just go back to giant Indian skull. Let's see what we can find. Let's see what 1897, 1927. Where is it? September 18th, 1927. Giant Indian skeletons uncovered in Florida's Tampa. All right. Giant Indian skeletons uncovered in Florida. Tampa, Florida, September 17th. Giant Indians who roam Florida swamps 500 years or more, living on shell foods, which they crack with their teeth, in a picture unfolded by archaeologists who have delved into a brutal burial ground on the Gulf Island near here. The skeletons were discovered on a small section of land where a lone fisherman has lived for years. Scientists estimate the bones are at least 500 years old, and the remains are of a tribe known as the garou, G-A-R-S, the garou natives of the West Indies. They are believed to have inhabited the state and adjacent islands before the arrival of Spaniards in Florida. The skulls, larger than those of current history, are battered and crushed, indicating tribal battles. These jaws and teeth are unusually large. Likewise are the body bones. I can't read that word. The Indians of the past ages were veritable giants in comparison to those of today. I can't read all of it because it's old scanned newspaper. Let me say this to you. Now, there's going to be, we talking about 1920s, in the 1920s, right? We talk about mindsets in the 1920s. So when we start talking about narratives and mindsets, I think anybody back then and there was an engine to the people here. is what they was calling them, Indians. I think anybody was an Indian to those people back then. And then you take the fact that they're finding bones from 500 years earlier. You take the racial biases that are combined in it, which we know it was there. We're not going to be getting the full gist of what these individuals were. In other words, I think they've been labeled as Indians. I don't necessarily think they were Indians. Now, in this particular article, they're saying they came from the West Indies. How they determined that, I don't know. But as you go through these type of articles more and more, you come to realize that there were giant human beings. They're describing them as giant. And as I looked more and more, I saw more articles with, hell, 17 foot tall, 12 foot tall. And here's my question for you. Compared to modern day times, what is it considered a giant? Let's go based on biblical. Let's see. Let me just Google this. So, how tall was Goliath in the Bible in feet? All right. So biblically, it's saying that Goliath was 7 feet 10 inches. All right. So we're talking about a dude that's 7 feet tall. Basically, a Shaquille O'Neal is what they were saying Goliath is. All right. So my standards for somebody being a giant, I mean, basically Shaq was 7 feet tall, but for me, somebody being a giant would have to be 12 feet tall. Right? So as we search through these and sift through these articles, I'm just laying out my criteria for what I'm saying a giant is. I'm saying if you a giant, you taller than 12 feet. Or you taller than 10 feet, right? Now that doesn't necessarily mean that 7 feet tall doesn't classify you a person as a giant. I'm just saying my criteria for a giant is taller than 10 feet. All right. Yeah, let's use 10 feet. So my criteria is 10 feet. Because I know if we saw a 12-foot dude walking around down the streets right now, everybody be like, what the hell is that thing? That's not human. Shoot it. Shoot it. Shoot him. Shoot him. Shoot him. That's what we would say. I know that's what I would say. If me and my family walking up the street and a 12-foot dude get to coming down the street, I might have to draw down on him. That's all I'm saying to you. So we're going with 12 foot tall. That one didn't give us a description of anybody, the height, right? So watch this. We'll go back. 12 foot tall. Skeleton. We can do that. Oh my Lord, they went to flat earth. I don't know why it does that. 12 foot tall Indian. I don't know why everybody got to be Indian. All right, we losing it, guys, because they're killing me. Giant Indian. Let's just go back. Giant Indian skeletons. Oh my Lord, why is it? It's killing me. It's not letting me search it anymore. All right, let's go back one more time. All right, we're gonna stick with what we got. Giant Indian skeletons uncovered in Florida. Giant Indian skeletons uncovered in Florida. Bones of giant Indians. January 14th, 1898. Holy crap. The Pawtucket Valley Gleaner. Holy crap. January 14th, 1889. Prehistoric men 7 foot tall who once lived in Maryland. Indian 7 foot tall. I ain't interested in 7 foot tall ones. 6.5 feet, 7 feet. You don't meet my criteria. Even though you use the word giant, you don't meet my criteria. Bones of a historic race. Anthropologists immensely discover Indian. Everything is an Indian skeleton. And y'all Indians get it bad. All right, here we go. Anthropologists intensely interested in the discovery of Indian skeletons in California. New indications that California was once inhabited by a race of gigantic Indians was furnished when sewer diggers on a Ferry and Howard streets in the heart of the business district of Martinez, California, uncovered an Indian burial ground with skeletons measuring more than 7 feet. Several skulls and one well-preserved skeleton are to be given over to be investigators of the anthropology department of the University of California. The skulls and skeletons are declared to be highly important in scientific value. Discovery of the burial ground has reviewed an old Indian legend that as an immense treasure of gold nuggets was interred with a body of a chief of an ancient tribe of the giant Indians. So, convinced of the residents. Is my phone ringing? What the hell is my phone? So convinced are the residents. I'm sorry, guys. I'm supposed to be going somewhere sometime soon. Give me 1 second. All right. Where was I? All right. So convinced are the residents and the truth of this legend that great crowds have thronged around the sewer diggers, largely hampering their activities, and more than a score of people have applied to municipal authorities for positions on the city sewer digging crew. According to the ancient Indian legend, the vast gold treasure was buried in close proximity to where the bones were recovered. 8 years ago, William Elfman, curator of the museum in Golden Gate Park, San Francisco, declared that the skeletons unearthed near Concord were the most valuable contributions to the scientific investigation of the state's prehistoric Indians. What I'm finding, I'm gonna reserve that. I'm gonna reserve. Let's keep going. Times Optimist, and this is February 1921. Bones of historic race, anthropology, da 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 da. This is like the same one. One well-preserved skeleton. Yeah, that's the same article. It's just in a different paper. Let's go to the next one. Rochester Sentinel. So that made news all over the place. It was in that same article was in Rochester Sentinel. Early giant Yankees. He bones some 8-foot Indians found. He bones. What the hell is a he bone? All right, early giant Yankees. The bones of some 8-foot tall Indian found. They bear out Capital John Smith testimony to the tribe of very tall red men with whom he had dealings. The bones found thought to be 1,000 years old, discovered in Maryland. I'm trying to scan this to see the height real quick. And just so you guys know, my objective in this is I want to find the area that actually had the tallest giants. So as I'm going along, I'm taking notes. Kansas about 800 years ago. So there were giants in Kansas. Where's this article start at? Lifestyle. Then on their backs they died at night. Hog farmers Howard and John Pierce operate a cemetery to augment outcome. For 50 cents they da 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 da. Alright, here we go. How do I get a... When is this? This is a nice looking newspaper. That's a little bit more recent. So we were finding bones in 1973. Oh, and here's a picture of the dude with the skeleton. On exhibit, John Price displays one of the skeletons, which visitors pay 50 cent admission. It can't be 1973. You're paying 50 cent. April 18th, 1973. John Price displays the skeleton, which visitors paid 50 cent for admission to see. Yep. So, guys, I mean, there's ample evidence of giants all over the place. I mean, there really is ample evidence of giants all over the place. So here's what I want to know from you guys as the Dark Waters family. Here's what I would like to know. What would you like to do? I mean, like as a kind of a group project thing. I mean, I'm gonna tell you stories that's gonna entertain you, but frankly, I'm bored with just the stories. I feel like we need to have like a mass project for the Dark Waters family, a way people can contribute data, um, and kind of so people can actually do some research. Now, I'll tell you um, why I'm kind of picking the subject of giants, because it's, to me, it's the existence of them completely and totally validates everything that's said in the Bible, and I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm with that, 100%. I ain't trying to do no investigation, no damn ghosts. I ain't trying to do no damn investigations and no damn demons. I'm not interested in it. List some suggestions in the comment section as to what you would like to do. I mean, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thinking we start collecting some data, but it needs to be an endpoint of it. So, let's do this. How about this? And you guys give me your thoughts in the comment section. I'm showing you guys how to research this, right? Let's do one more thing before I go. Let me go back. Yeah, see, the problem with searching cryptids is there's so much. Let me see. Yeah, the problem is there's so much. Let's see, strange animal. Yeah, I tell you, I'm not gonna be able to do it live because I got to figure it out. Here's what I propose we do. We make this a part of the morning show, and I'm gonna open the lines. You call in what you found. We'll look it up together. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's scour the news. We got the tools right in front of us. You got it in your hand. Let's scour for three things. And let's scour it based on, and I'll put it together for you guys so we can see it. Let's scour the news. Let's look for three things. Let's take a Bigfoot map. Like, let's say, I think the Bigfoot BFRO has a pretty good. Matter of fact, you guys tell me who has the best Bigfoot sighting map. So we're going to take the Bigfoot sighting map. We'll start with Bigfoot because, I mean, hell, there's going to be way more data points on Bigfoot. We're going to take the Bigfoot sighting map and we're going to go based on locations, and we're going to dig into giant sightings in the news in those locations and see if there's a correlation between the Bigfoot sightings and the giant sightings. If we can find similar counties, similar locations, and historic counties where this activity has been, where there was Bigfoot and giants. Because in my opinion, they're using the term Indian in these news articles interchangeable for Bigfoots. I mean, I think that's what they're doing. I think they're using it interchangeable for Bigfoots. I don't think every Indian that they're saying is an Indian is an actual Indian. You kind of get what I'm saying? And like, even when you go and you look up strange creature, giant wolf bones. Like, there was one that I was looking at the other day, and it was talking about, it was a giant wolf. It looked like a giant wolf skeleton, but they said it was a whale. And it was crazy because it's like, yeah, the bones, when you put them, the bones look like a giant, it was a, how did they say it? A well-preserved set of wolf bones, but at closer inspection, it was a whale who walked on land. And I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? I'll find it and show it to you guys. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? A wolf that looks like a whale? It doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? And then a couple of articles later, I find that, well, the Smithsonian was bragging about everything that they were collecting in the Smithsonian Museum. And so I can tell you now, I'm not about to mess with them people because that's the people that cause a lot of problems for other people, and I don't want no problems with them people. Clear. I don't want no problems with them people because they cause problems for a lot of people. You heard me? But what I'm saying to you is this. And that's all I'm saying. Real research, real talk, real times. Dark Waters, that's what we do. So in the comment section, you guys make suggestions. What you think we should do? I'm about whatever you about. All day, all night. Like Cash Money back in the day. I'm about whatever you about. And I said we have some fun doing some actual research. Um, Unfortunately, this field is full of people who claim they're researchers, but they'll never present no research. I'm sorry. I mean, it's cult of personality in this field. Some people like people, but they don't do no damn research. They ain't. It's just it is what it is. So we'll focus on doing what needs to be done and what should be done, and will allow us to learn and grow and prosper, and let everybody else focus on the foolishness. And probably a year from now, when I'm done doing this, everybody will jump on this, and then they'll say they did it. And then you guys will remember, no, DW was the one who was being. It's gonna play. The cycle gonna play over and over and over again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the one and only James Williams Dark Waters. I'm out of here. I'm rolling out. Y'all be easy. I'm hoping y'all enjoying y'all Monday morning. You know what I'm saying? Handle your business. Take care of business. Take care of family. God bless you, and I love you.